Welcome to the treasure room.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Prepare for vault door opening.
Hello and welcome everybody. What is this craziness? Starting up early today, everybody. I felt just starting up. Let's see, the great thing about being me is I do whatever the hell I want to do. And I feel like getting in there and doing some Satisfactory. Really cool shot right now of the sun going down among my oil factory I got going right here. We're producing a bunch of fuel. I call these the hanging factories, kind of like hanging plants. Where they actually hang underneath each other and actually work downward. So you bring the oil up to the top and it flows downward, which is the best way to flow. Whoa, there goes the train picking up that oil. You can see it's just picking up the oil in the back right now. And I'm very excited to go see how this has been doing. We've been letting it run for a week. Now you're like, okay, it's been started up early. What is going on, everybody? I crashed out, everybody. I was exhausted, been pushing myself, had to take care of a bunch of the IRL stuff, more calls to my stupid cell phone company. Had to help my wife resolve some issues with getting her car fixed because she got someone crashed in the back of her. Didn't do too much damage. It kind of damaged a bit of the fender, but hey, you know, it wasn't our fault, so they should fix it. So I basically had to do that lady's job. She's like, well, I haven't got the police report yet. I'm like, oh, God, okay, I'll take a picture of the police report and send it to you. So that's what I had to do today. Man, I feel like I'm an unpaid intern for a lot of these companies, everybody, who just, like, isn't it their job to do that? To get the police report and be on the ball? Apparently not. Apparently their job is to make me do their work and not get paid for it. So thanks for coming in and hanging out, everybody. Appreciate you. I saw Paul in there way when I was starting up there. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out. We got Dragon Wolf bringing lots of love right there in the chat. I appreciate that as well. I'm going to call you X for short. X coming in showing some love. I appreciate that. Look at all the ones. Yeah, there we go. Dragon Wolf, Paul. X letting us know. Look, you guys are smart. You're right here at the very early because guess what? I'm going to give you a bunch of kids caps. In fact, I'm going to shower you with a whole bunch of kids caps for being here. And you're like, oh, Kismet's starting up. Let's go. Let's go. I love to see it. I always love to see the enthusiasm in the stream, everybody, when you guys come in and say hi at the very beginning. You guys are my favorite part of streaming, just so you know. All right, everybody, very excited to get in and continue this build that we're doing. What we're doing is we're mega building, everybody, to a level in which I've never done in Satisfactory, though I have built in many a game. And I have played, of course, Satisfactory for thousands of hours. But we're doing more of aesthetic building, trying to use some new techniques, and of course, building in such a way that it actually has its own unique style. So that's what we're doing right now. So let's go ahead and take a tour where we're at right now, and then pick up where we left off and keep on rocking on our massive oil fuel power. We're trying to get to rocket fuel on this particular one. There goes our train again. Let's jump in. Let's go. Oh, the D. Oh, right. What's up? Yeah, I hope your wife's okay. Yeah, she's fine. She's never been in an accident before, so she didn't know what to do, which is a good thing, and then also a scary thing that I know exactly what to do. I've had way too many people bump into me, everybody. I grew up in California. People are crazy there. But actually, I think the driving is a little more crazy in Tennessee, because you'd think with less people there'd be less accidents, but no, people aren't paying attention. They're on their phones. They're doing stupid stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of stupid stuff going on right there. All right, here we go, everybody. Let's see what we got here. We got 150 resin byproduct. We got 8 max factories, which is 1200 MK6 belt to the awesome sink. Out of there. So if we look right here, you're like, well, what's the big deal, Kismet? You got the factory right there. But watch down here. Whoa, that's right. They're hanging factories. They actually hang off the top of there. Down they go to the bottom there. We could have almost put them over there where the actual oil is. So what we've done is we've got the oil. We've run it up the spiral here. You can see here comes the train right now. And we've taken just a portion of the oil, and we have been running it the whole entire time to let it fill up with fuel. And you can see that number 2 is full of fuel, and number 3, and down here we go again. Now again, this is just producing fuel as it goes. And this was probably done about an hour after we left it. And again, all the way down, we want to check every single one to make sure that it is functioning properly. Each one has its own pipeline that comes down the side here. As you can see, look at our cool pipes that we ran. Very, very cool. I love the kind of horizontal vertical style. These are all using max level pipes and max level belts, which is 1200. You can see that it does come down and ends up here in the awesome sink from the top. So what it also does is goes in the dimensional depot in case we need that resource later, which we will need it at some point. You can see that we built these out so they actually hang underneath each other with supports and all that kind of cool stuff. So very, very neat. So that is maximizing the input of that oil, and I built it to be to the size of the maximum speed belt, which is 1200, which is why it says 8 total factories. See, it's to the byproduct that we need to get rid of, or we could reuse it in the factory if we wanted to. But I just get rid of it because it's just easier to manage. And again, your time is your most valuable asset. You can see that we've routed our train perfectly through here to turn around and go right back by the factory underneath the pipe and make its way back. Now, one of the things that we did is we added all of these cross sections here because only the last 2 are currently working. And because we have the power of time, we can constantly keep bringing that oil in, and the last 2 are going to be full, right? And then also each factory has its own internal storage of the raw resource and the output. Let's go ahead and fly on in here. We'll go look at over here and see the red is our input. That one's completely full. And, of course, the green being the output. So it's taking the oil, converted into the fuel. Now, that's the same all the way down. And then by making these cross sections, not only did, when that all got filled, it started to backlog, it also backlogged into a bit of the other pipelines here. You can see it didn't go into the platform itself, but it did backlog across these pipelines. So when we start to bring these other oil, all of this other pipelines are going to be full, as you can see, of oil. And then when this fills up, it'll flow quite well. And we'll take away all of our cross sections once we start to bring all the rest of our oil in. You're like, well, Kismet, where's the oil go now? Well, the oil right now goes over there, which you can see has a bunch of fuel. Now, of course, that's fuel and then turbo fuel on top of that. Now, when it comes to oil production, especially when you're using trains, you want to have a bit extra. I think instead of doing it at 100%, Always good to have a little extra. This particular one is going to have extra because, again, we'll have the 8 factories. Each one requires a certain amount of oil, which we have written on the front here. So we have 300 oil in and then 200 fuel out with a byproduct of 150 resin total. So we want to make sure that we are managing that. It's cool every time the train goes by. So we need 300 basically times 8, right? So we can go in and we can do that. 300 times 8. We need 2,400 basically oil coming through at any given time. Now we just happen to have a 600 node plus another 600 node plus a 300 node over here. Plus another 300 node, plus a 900 node. So that's actually 2,700. You're like, well, kid me, how are you going to get all that over here? A pipe only does 600. You're going to have to run a ton of pipes. Well, instead of running all those pipes and all that stuff, now, of course, I could have built this directly at the oil extraction and then ran the final product over here, which is what I kind of feel like I might do with our remote stuff and just bring the fuel itself over. Just bring the end product to the end result as opposed to bringing the raw oil. Now, in the end, it doesn't really matter because you can do it either way. It doesn't matter whether you do it in modular style, like I'm doing it at the remote base, or if you bring it back, because ultimately you're going to have to manage it, whether it's there. Now, of course, it's easier to build at the node. And I'm waiting for 1.1 right now, by the way, everybody. We're going to start doing dual playthroughs where one day we're playing on the server and the next day we're playing on a local playthrough to see if it's different, because I've been noticing a lot of quirks and weird things that happen on the server that probably doesn't happen on a solo playthrough. Now, the problem with the solo playthrough is you can't just let it run for a week like we've done here. Now, this server has been running, which is astounding to me, continuously for 4,152 hours, everybody. That's not how long I've been playing. That's how long this server's been running, and that's because of the awesome people over at G-Portal who were kind enough to give me a sweet code for all of you guys, for you guys to go check it out. So feel free to go over there, get yourself 10% off, because saving money is making money. But I always try to hook you guys up. And so basically what it does is basically processes the oil. So it brings the oil here, and then we can use that oil to run that oil back down again. See, the trick is you want to bring it up and then run it back down. So in the case of this train, what it's doing is it's making its way, and I can get on the train. There we go. Oh, or I can get back off the train. Little lag there. And what it's going to do is make its way down to the oil. Now, my perfect spiral, not just the spiral, but the perfect spiral, is going down all the way there. It's going to grab the oil and then bring it back up. Now, currently we have 3 trains doing that route, right? So it goes down, it gets the oil, it comes back up again. It's one of the best ways, I think, of bringing your trains back up because it doesn't slow the train down that much, right? And the reason why I'm up so high, by the way, on this particular build is if you notice, my trains don't have to go up and down. They're perfectly flat. So I bring the resources up to me as opposed to taking the train down to it and bringing it up. And that's what we're going to do in this build. I kind of feel like in my next build, I'm going to build at the ground area, probably just above the ground area, to keep all the animals and whatnot out of my base, especially Fred, who loves to be in my base all the time. You'll see him from time to time. But the spiral is really great for any fluids and whatnot that you're bringing, because this way you don't have to do so many pumps. Like if in this particular spot right here, there's a bunch of pumps every so often. You can just kind of barely see them right here. And then you can see I have another one here, another one there, and so on and so forth. And those pumps basically cost power. So it's much smarter to use the train because I can transport a lot more of a certain resource over a longer distance than to use all those pumps, which, because it's all about power in this game, everybody. It's all about that. And so that's a great way of just basically doing it. Now, again, I could take this factory and build it out where the oil is, or I could go get the oil and bring it to where I want to be in a central factory. So currently, that's what I'm doing. I'm having it go get the oil, bring it over here, drop it off, and then, of course, it's backlogged over the amount of time because it doesn't have the next step of the process. The next step of the fuel process is to become either the next fuel or to become the actual fuel that you're using for power. Because you can use fuel power, and then you go to turbo fuel, then rocket fuel, and then they have isometric fuel, or whatever they call it, ionized fuel, which we're actually doing over here. You can see we've been blueprinting, having lots of fun. Over here we have different trains. This one's picking up some aluminum, bringing water for aluminum. Also coming up one of my perfect spirals. Very cool. Again, I just love to fly over the center of the perfect spiral. Very cool. So that's bringing that up and producing a bunch of our aluminum for us temporarily. And again, all this stuff will be removed and redone. You see that we have kind of a bit of a bypass over here for our nitrogen. We're running over here to be used for our ionized fuel. And this is a bit of extra fuel over here that we're just making from time to time just to kind of fool around, but you got to need power shards. So you're going to need to make synthetic power shards because you're going to run out of power shards eventually if you're using your regular ones. But you want to use your synthetic power shards and then combine it with your rocket fuel to eventually make ionized fuel using that compact coal. And we're over here fooling around with it. But it's not really my primary power. My primary power over here is the turbo fuel. And you can see a lot of mine are running over here. Very nice. And always like to see that my turbo fuel is rocking. I see most of these are going. So always what you want to kind of look at. See if they're all running. Look at your overall power. Right now about 40,000. Now again, I could probably finish the entire game with about 20,000 power, everybody. Because you could build up a bunch of resources, backlog those resources, and then take that production out, or have that production automatically turn off, and then start up more production on top of it. And again, we got our battery power there. Down there, you can see that we've been doing at the extraction bases there, modular bases that stack vertically. You can actually have them go down or up. In this case, they're going upwards, and they all have a specific purpose. They're doing concrete, they're doing plates, they're doing rods. They're doing all that basic stuff that you need a lot of to keep big old bases like this going. So we've been basically working on that. Now we're going to transition from all the stuff that we're doing over here and transition that over to this side where we are going to move very far away from our nuclear power and revamp all that power eventually. We'll probably keep that nuclear power in the same place over there, but I kind of feel like fuel power is really the ultimate power because it really doesn't have that much of a byproduct that you can, in any byproduct that you are doing, you can just put in the awesome sink. So basically the input of this particular factory is going to be around 2,700. So I'm going to go over here and label this a bit more, that this factory has an input, a total input of 2,700. So we're going to go ahead and just pick up this billboard, and we're just going to write that right here at the top. Oop, or we'll make two of them. At least to put the text the right way. And then oil right here. And then we'll say total input 2,700. This way we don't have to total input. This way we don't have to remember it over and over again. Required is 2,400. All right. Actually, we could probably put this in the reverse because you probably want to put what you need and then what you have in that kind of order. And there we go. Now, I wish I could control the font size of stuff, everybody. It is kind of annoying to not be able to control the font size there. So hopefully they fix that at some point. Let's adjust our layout here. So maybe we could get this to line up. Maybe something like this. Let's go with that, see how we like it. Yeah, much better. Okay. So required is 2,400. My total input is going to be 2,700. Now I'm going to aim it for 2,400, and that's why we have the 8 factories. Because again, 300. Oh, right here. 300 times 8 is 2,400, right? So that's really all we need. Now we do have extra, and any extra we could also use for stuff like plastic, rubber, all that kind of stuff. but it'll have its own dedicated factory just for making plastic and rubber, where I won't necessarily need it over here. But we need the next part of the factory that we're going to be doing, which is going to be our turbo fuel. Now, we already have a factory pre-built over here on our blueprinter. We can go in and see what the next part of the process requires when we're trying to make turbo fuel. So we need fuel and we need compacted coal. Now, compacted coal is a combination of sulfur and coal together. And so we'll need some production for that compacted coal first. But really, other than that, we can actually run it pretty well. Now, this particular setup here is for a single input and not for double inputs, though we could probably work it a bit, but we would have to reduce this here because, and by the way, everybody, you can just take, if you don't care if it clips, everybody, you can just take stuff and you can do what's known as soft clipping, or you could just clip right through there if you really wanted to. I don't want to, so I'm going to just show you that you can. And then take it immediately out because I can't handle clipping. I don't like it. Oh, what the heck is going on, bro? There is something weird going on with my game. I can't remove anything. I feel like I'm about to get disconnected from the server. Okay. Get to my inventory. I can't hit F now. Like a lag or something. There we go. All right. Not dismantle. Now I'm stuck in the blueprint. Okay. All right, that's the main menu. Something weird going on with the server. Probably an internet issue. Yesterday I had my power kick off. Yep. I knew it. Connect to server API. Retry. All right. See, this is my life, everybody. I don't know why I can't just have a day where it doesn't have technical problems. You know what I mean? Man, it's just like every single day. It's like technology doesn't help you. It's like constantly a hindrance. It's constantly a hindrance of me just doing this all day. Instead of actually doing the thing that I want to do, I spend a lot of time just doing this. Not on typically on the server, but I mean in life in general. Like the cell phones aren't working. They got my bills wrong for my cell phone. My wife gets in an accident, so I'm like fixing that problem. My kids get in an accident. It's just like every single day. Put a 1 in the chat if you can relate, everybody. I go play a game like Throne and Liberty. It's just constantly crashing all the time. I go and it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It just constantly some sort of technical problem. I'm just going to completely exit the game. I think it's a game issue more than anything else. Let's empty the recycle bin while we're at it just for fun. Again, I just want to play a game, everybody. That's it. That's all I want to do. I don't want to sit and be Mr. Technical Fixer Man all day long. I just want to play a game. All right, let's try it again. Okay, so it seems like my server is offline. It chose this exact moment to be offline, did it? Seems to be online to me. Again, put a 1 in the chat if you guys can see and hear me, just to make sure that it's not an internet problem. I'm just going to restart it. One of the cool things they have at G-Portal is they have a panel where you can just go in and control all the settings and then restart the server and all that. Very cool. I don't think it's on the server end. I think it's on my end. Thanks, Dragon Wolf, for letting me know, everybody. Yeah, this is the standard Kismet stream right here. Just everything off the rails, just like in the zone. I was ready to work on the thing. I got my momentum going, and bam! Bam! Momentum killer right there. All right.
Oh my God!
I feel like I'm gonna have to contact them now, and we'll give it a minute here. See if it comes back up. It's been running all week, and the second I go in to do something is the second it decides, nope. Started early, super excited about playing, and then life just has to be a pain in the butt. Maybe it's trying to tell me to make a new game. It's tempting me to start a new game early before 1.1 comes out. If I have too many server problems, I might just do that. I have a feeling it's going to come back up. No? All right, here we go. Down the rabbit hole of crap here. I just spend way too much time doing this, everybody. Thousands. Just think about how many hours I've spent over the last 40 plus years in computers doing this. All right, I'll buzz them. See if we can get that going. Also, it's getting hot in here. I'll be right back, everybody. Find out why it's so hot. Be right back. I'm back, everybody. Technical problems have begun, even though we started early. We were ready to play. Oh, boy. Not sure what's up. Says that it's up. Says that it's running. I can't connect to it. Offline. Well, apparently we're going to start a new game. All right. Try it one more time. I'll just go completely out. It's never easy, everybody. Never easy. I mean, every day has to be an uphill climb of a steep hill every single day. But never give up, never surrender. By the way, that came on the other day. I watched it. It was pretty fun. I just don't get it. All right, well, I'll see if they're going to get back to me on that. Apparently, no server for us today. Maybe Fate trying to tell us something. Fate trying to tell us to start a new game, maybe. What do we got? Let's go ahead and delete these previous games. I guess we're going to start on our new playthrough then. All right, now I had an idea for a new playthrough and to create three separate different stages that you go through the game to basically produce a massive amount of resources as you go. Looks like again the server just like suddenly decided to go offline. I don't know why, but is not coming back on. So we deleted all previous games, and we're going to go ahead and start again. Tycoon HQ. And we're just going to go ahead and see what we got in here. I'm going to bring up my backdrop in case it says something. Would you like to access the one-way exit and you'll not be able to switch back to the default version? No, I don't want to do that. Multiplayer settings, single player. All right. All right, everything seems good. Now, you have different starter areas, the Northern Forest, the Dune Desert. I've started in all of these locations multiple times and crushed it no matter where you are. You can really crush this game no matter what. I personally prefer the grass fields because I'm just going to run over to my favorite spot and start. We'll try the server one more time. Nope. Okay, fine. New game it is. All right, here we go. We're going to start in the grass fields here. Now, what I was going to do is start the game when 1.1 comes out, and I guess we'll do that. We'll probably start this one over again. But let's go ahead and tinker around a little bit. And let's start.
Separation from main transport complete. Group 8 delivered to Calistian region. All pioneers functional, initiating dispersion. Attention pioneer, I am Ada, your personal instance of the artificial directory and assistant.
No Unforgiven and using G-Portal, they work great. Just ran for 4,000 hours, except for when I want to play on it. They'll take a look at it, everybody. They'll get back to me.
Pioneers must follow fixed guidelines and instructions when constructing any building. Automate. Every pioneer is responsible for setting up and managing efficient pipelines, outposts, and power infrastructure. Explore and exploit. Fix-it selected planets are rich with resources suitable for direct use or further investigation. Stay within your designated. And that is why the world is counting on pioneers like you. Fix-it. Short-term solutions to long-term problems. Initiating planetfall.
Here we go.
Atmospheric entry in 3.
I love this
2,
intro every time.
1. Beginning arrow assist. Drag within acceptable parameters. Descent phase begun. Decelerating. Deploying parachute. Deploying backup parachute. Skipping parachute. Landing phase begun. Activating retro propulsion. Touchdown. Planetfall complete. Drop pod integrity nominal. Omni situational exploration suit nominal. Pioneer. Acceptable.
Oh, what a good spot. It puts you in a different spot each time. Beautiful.
Congratulations. You are the third in your region to survive planetfall. Welcome to Massage 2, A-B-B, in the binary system of Akicha. Loading objective-based introduction. Begin onboarding.
Fred's always there to greet us.
First contact safety tool supplied due to presence of alien megafauna. Adhere to Fix-It procedure and equip the Fix-It Inc. Xeno Zapper before leaving the drop zone.
All right, we're on it. Thank you, Ro, for coming in with that raid. I saw you there. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. We'll go back and check on the server later on, everybody. We'll give it some time to catch a clue and get going here. So yeah, getting started with a new playthrough. We're just going to start at the beginning here while we wait for the server. First thing we're going to do, grab some stuff.
Potential edible collected. If consumed before interrupting previous message for higher priority message.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. I just learned that.
Next objective. Dismantle the drop pod. Fix it incorporated as cost-effective and efficient. We do not waste. The drop pod will be recycled to construct the first stage of the habitat and utility base, often referred to as the hub.
Okay. So yeah, I've never seen it do that where it replaced the current message with the thing and acknowledged that it was doing it. Hey, see, look, in every playthrough, you can always learn something new. And I played through 40 or 50 times. I played through a lot of times. So keep that in mind. When I see something new, I'm all about it. All right, dismantle the drop pod. Here we go.
Next objective. Use the resource scanner to find and collect additional iron to be able to build the hub. If you cannot find iron, be assured scans of the planet have revealed sufficient iron sources.
All right, now the first thing I always do, everybody, before we do all the iron and all that stuff, is start to collect these leaves, everybody. It's so easy. You can just hit E to collect it. And one of the things, every time in every new playthrough, everybody, I always forget that I can just hold down E and keep holding it down and then just run around. You don't have to hit E every single time. The only time that you have to hit E again is when you need to do something different other than the bushes itself. So if you hold down this and just go after the bushes, you can just grab all of these while you're on your way. Let's go ahead and say hello to Fred. We say hello to him every new playthrough. How's it going, Fred?
Potential edible collected. Eating it and surviving does not count as a valid field test and does not generate enough data for Fix-It to make an informed decision. Store this potential resource for later use.
All right. Well, Fred's always there to greet us. And so the first thing you want to do is just grab a bunch of leaves. That'll get you started. Bunch of things maybe to heal yourself. Now, there is a bunch of resources over here that I can gather. Now, the first thing I do, because I've played through so many times, is to orient myself as to where we start, right? And the first thing I use, especially in the forest, is this giant arch over here. This giant arch is a great indicator of where there's resources. There's resources over here. There's resources actually under the arch, on the arch, by the arch. I can see way over there. I can see already oh man, it went out of my head. What is called? What is that thing called? Mercer Mercer right up on the top there. And whatnot. The hardest thing about starting a new playthrough, everybody, is using the slower belts. It really can be triggering, for sure. But we've got our Xeno Zapper, so we are just going to grab some stuff here while we're waiting for our server to come back up again. And I should probably be over here just in case they do contact me. Right there. We'll check it from time to time to see if the server's up. Actually, we can check it right now. Server manager. Oh, all right. The server's back up again. All right. That's as far as we get. See? Told you it'd be a minute, everybody. All right. Back we go again. And that was it. That was the total of that new playthrough. Again, sometimes technology is about waiting, everybody. You just wait for it to restart and do all that stuff. And this server's been really stable. Again, 4,000 hours in and still running. Not my 4,000 hours. The server's been running 24/7 this whole entire time. And for some reason, we were working with our blueprint and it kicked us. So maybe something it just needed to be restarted and whatnot. Normally, it restarts around midnight. But we'll go ahead and jump back into the other game. Now, that other game, I'll start a new one. There we go. We're back. Okay. Interesting that it rolled me back over here, which is where I was. All right, there goes my trade. It rolled me back a bit. How do I know? Because if I go in here, I bet you that thing that I built is not going to be there. Oh, yeah. See? Not there. So what I'd done is I built a belt out of there, and then all of a sudden it got confused and had to restart the server. Remember, the game is not perfect. It's going to have issues, as well as could potentially cause the game to crash. So, all right, there we go. Ooh, look at this. Is that actually there? Yep. Okay, main menu again. It's got to be one of those days, everybody. Got to be one of those days. I can tell you already. All right, let's try again. And sometimes what happens, everybody, is your saves get corrupted. They absolutely do, depending on what you're doing in game. I find that the server, while very steady over a long period of time, probably is less bug-free than the local version. But the great thing about the server is you can let the server run. And just run and run and run. Kind of feel like if we just let that run, it would eventually fix itself. Or if we went away and then we came back. We got a lot of stuff going in this playthrough. Let's try it again. All right. Okay. Let's just get to work. Okay, that'll take a minute for that to the train to come back again. Now, what we want to do, again, go in and adjust this. Let's see if it remembered I went to turbo fuel. Okay, no, I didn't remember that either. So basically what happened is the server restarted. And then I think it, do I have it set to auto restart? Maybe that's what it was. Let me go look. Up here. Let me see if I had that to set to restart at that time. Because you can tell it to automatic restart at a certain time. Honestly, I can't remember. It's been so long. Been so long since I even had to think about it. Honestly, I can't remember where. Oh, right here. Yeah, it's at 12 midnight. It's cool, though. You go to your dashboard and check all that stuff. Love it. All right. Very cool. All right. There we go. All right. Back to it. Now, I've played before, everybody, for like 12, 14 hours straight without any issues, but it's always when you start early, that's when things have to go off the rails. But then again, maybe you started early to prevent losing all the time that you had to do. All right, so we need compacted coal is our next thing we need before we even need the turbo fuel. But like I was saying, this one's set up for a single input and a double output. Where this needs to have a double output and a single double input and a single output. So we'll need to devise a way of making that happen, and basically reconfigure this to manage that. Now we also need to look at what the input is of fuel. It's 22.5 per thing. Now what you want to do is find the magic number, right? So if you take 22.5 times 2, it's going to be 45. So there's an even number, right? I call that the magic number. And so say we do 4, well, that's 90. But if we do 3, then it's 67.5. So it's kind of an odd number. You want to get basically a whole number, a 90, a 45, etc. And so how much total fuel are we producing? Well, 200 is what we're producing. So we actually want to go in reverse, divided by 22.5. So you can see it's 8.8. So the math of that doesn't really kind of work out, right? If we go outside here, we can see that we have it labeled of 200 fuel out. But we have a total of 200 times 8 being produced. That's 1,600 that we're doing. So we can go in and say 1600 divided by 22.5 is 71. So basically we want to have 71 of these. That's right. That's a lot. 71 of these basically we can make and then produce the turbo fuel. Right? So again, we'll go in, we'll take a look at our numbers. And again, we were looking at our input versus our output. So again, we have 71. I'll make 72 just to have that little extra. But it always won't be running. Some of it will not be running. You want to use up that excess anyway, because this way you're constantly flowing it. Or what you can do is you can go less, especially with fluids, and then the pipes will always be full. Right? Because when the pipes drop down, you have sloshing in there. You also have hammering where it hits the end of a pipe, where you want to kind of create more of a circuit than where it ends as well. So that's really what we want to think about when we're doing this. Like, how much fuel are we absolutely producing, and how much fuel or how much do we want to convert into turbo fuel. So in this case, instead of doing it exactly on the amount, I'm actually going to reduce the amount just to make that overall, it'll have extra, and thus it won't go up and down and up and down and up and down in power all the time, right? So not only are we going to have extra oil coming in, but we're also going to have extra fuel going out. So again, if we have 1200 or 1600, let's do it again. I already forgot. What was it? It was 200. 200. Man, my brain just stopped there. 200 times 8 is 1600. There we go. So 1600 divided by 22.5, 71. So we'll figure out the math where it's more like 70, where we have that one extra doing the thing. Now, of course, we have, how many do we have in here? We have, I think 5. So 5 divided by 70. So 70 divided by 5 is a magic number. See how it's exactly on the dot? So if we make 5 of these in here and we figure a way of doing double inputs, which what I'll do is probably just flip these around the opposite direction and have the pipes output on the other side, at least these side ones. The other ones we could make that work because we do have room down here where we can run a second input, which would be fine. And also I've been running all fluids from up above and running it down, so that you always have a downflow and it's not backflowing up to wherever it's from. It works much better, everybody, to have all your fluids flowing down into the machine than flowing up into the machine. I've found over all the years of playing. So we could very easily put in, again, another track here. These we would flip around the other way so that when it does the output, we could go ahead and just combine these two outputs and combine those with the other outputs on the other side. We'll rework all that in a bit, but what we really need is our compacted coal. So we'll come back to this. We're just going to go ahead and clear the designer of this for right now. Boom, bam. And again, that was our... Oh, okay. Or don't. Clear the blueprint designer. Not clearing it. Okay, we're going to have one of those days, everybody. I feel like we're going to have one of those days where we can't just do what we want to do. Okay. Oh, and there I go again. I'm hitting F. Okay. 4,000 hours in, and now it decides to do this. Yep, lost connection again. See, I don't know if it's on my end or it's their end or what. All right, well, I'm not going to play with that all night long. Again, such is the way it goes. Such is the way it goes. But again, it's been running for 4,000 hours. It was running all week just fine, but the second I go in to do anything, it does it. Now, there is going to be a new update as well. Do we still have that game, or did I... Oh, we didn't save that, that start. Now, watch this, everybody. We're going to start a new game again, and watch it puts us in a different spot. I don't like skipping the intro. All right, let's do it again. Here we go. Do it again. PC stats, kismet.gg. Click on my studio, and you can see all the stats of my computers in there.
Separation.
I have a
from main
really nice
transport
computer and a
complete.
fiber
Group
optic
A
internet.
Delivered to Calestian region. All pioneers functional. Initiating dispersion.
We're gonna watch the intro again.
Attention, Pioneer.
Should have saved.
I am
That's what I should have
Ada, your
done.
personal instance of the
I didn't
artificial
save.
directory and assistant.
Again, I've been waiting for 1.1
Welcome
to
the
start a
Fixit
local
Incorporated
playthrough.
Save the Day program. A Fixit
Oh.
Pioneer has 3 core assignments.
I got a better idea.
Construct.
I got a better idea. Hold on. Maybe we should just go practice a little bit on 1.1 over here. Let me figure out some ways of making this work. All right. Over here. Hold on. I actually own multiple copies of Satisfactory because I love this game. Again, I played through 40, 50 times, everybody. Normally, we don't have a problem. You know, 12, 14, 20 hours of playing Satisfactory, building stuff on the server. It just seems to be when I start early and pretty excited about playing on the server is when we have to have issues. But I guess now's a good time. I guess Fate's trying to tell me it's a good time to test out a little bit of 1.1 while we're waiting. And I just happen to have the Epic version of the experimental version. I don't want to change my Steam. So we'll go in here and we'll go check out a little 1.1. What about that today? Let's see. Satisfactory. There we go. Satisfactory. Let me see it in my library. There we go. All right. I love how it still says update 8 in the experimental version. All right. All right. So what we're going to do is start to install this. I'll show you guys here. On the Epic Game Store, you actually have 2 versions. You have the original, because I bought it on Epic when it first came out. I mean, day one, everybody. I bought it. And have played it on stream, but they have 2 versions on there, unlike in Steam where you have to opt in, where you go into your properties and opt into it. But here it actually has 2 separate versions, and I'm installing the experimental version here, and that should be 1.1. We'll see. To miss all that stuff there. So we'll go ahead and let that install for a moment. Again, it's not gonna take too long. Again, I have a fiber optic line, so it'll go pretty fast. But we'll just go ahead and opt out of the Steam version for now. And we'll let that install. And in the meantime, we can think about what's new in 1.1 over here. Let's go ahead. And I wrote all this down, but I'm just going to look it up, patch notes. There we go. Patchy notes. Let's see. When's the last time they updated? Okay, a week ago. Bunch of bug fixes. They're working on controller as well. Oh, they removed Ada's commentary. Ah. Here's the original patch notes for 1.1 right here. Okay, so a bunch of the new features of 1.1 while we're letting that install. They have controller support. So if you've got a controller, which is awesome, so you can play it on your TV, play it on like Xbox or PlayStation. Very cool with controller eventually. That would be amazing. So you can use controller, and you can also use controller on PC. A lot of people do. They've added a photo mode. They also allow you to dismantle crash sites. You've got an elevator now. Let's see. Oh, you can take off fuel in the advanced game settings. Nah, never. I don't like doing like creative modes, everybody. I like to earn my way there. There we go. Buffer stops. We're introducing a new mechanic for trains when manually driving the train. Oh, I can just show you where this is, by the way. Over here, if you're looking for this is their QA site. I'll throw it in the chat for you guys. Satisfactory QA. Great way to give them feedback as well on the game. But again, they got buffer stops. I don't remember hearing about this. A new mechanic for trains. When manually driving a train and reaching the end of the railway, trains will now derail entirely, and you'll have to interact with the train in order to get it back on the rail, similar to how train clears work. To prevent this, you must put a buffer stop. Oh, yes. No, I did see that. That's the thing you have to put at the end, so it doesn't go off the station. Oh, I forgot about that too. Let's see. Left-handed path and block signals. Oh, yeah. So they added it where you can put the block signals on the left side or the right side. That's right. I remember them saying that. Let's see. Major improvements with their implementation for railways, so they should be a lot nicer and better to build overall than ever. Okay, so they reworked the railways. Hopefully they like just come out with 1.1 stable next week, and then we'll be ahead of the game. I'm just waiting for the stable version. I was thinking of moving my my current mega build over, but I kind of feel like I'm going to do a new local game as well. And again, normally the server's pretty rock solid, everybody. Again, for 4,000 hours it's been running, so I don't know why today it chose to do it, but whatever. We'll let it. We'll let them figure out what's going on with it as well. Let's see. So what else they do? Okay, conveyor wall haul. New conveyor attachment that can be freely placed on any wall and windows, allowing for conveyors to pass through and to allow for more customization. Bigger compared to existing conveyor walls with fixed placement for connections. Can be freely placed on any wall and windows, allowing for conveyors to pass through to allow for more customization. Oh, we're going to have to check that out. And again, I've purposely been waiting for it to come out and release, but since our server is being feisty today, we're going. This priority merger, this is something I've wanted for a while. Where you can control which is the most valuable thing to go into a merger from which direction. That's pretty cool. Definitely want to check that out. They also have a throughput monitor for conveyor belts, not for pipes though. Really, the pipe thing is the one I want. Is that that you can go in and yeah, so yeah, we have a straight function for pipes. Oh, I didn't know they had straight function. I know they had a curved where they built 90-degree pipes, which I've been waiting for a while. Hypertube junctions, yes, I remember seeing about that. And then hypertube branches, so different types of hypertubes. They added a bunch of architectural pieces, which is pretty cool. Automatic connections of conveyor pipes and railways and blueprints. Oh, yes. This is where you create a blueprint and you start dragging it out and will automatically connect it from the previous one as well. Again, sometimes fate is trying to push you in a certain direction, everybody. So fate's trying to tell me right now, Kismet, you should get in there, check out 1.1. So hopefully when it comes out, we can start a new playthrough and we'll be off and running. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. Dedicated server, forward porting, and all that. Tourist trains at levels of setting to mid, rather than just ducking special frequencies. Okay, some audio improvements there. Expanding the polish of our foliage. Trees will now gracefully fall after being cut by the chainsaw with new effects. All right, we're gonna try all this stuff out today. We'll start with thing number 1 and work our way down, except for controller support. We're not going to do that. But I really want to try the elevator, and that's why I've actually left a spot in my current playthrough. Holy mackerel, it's still going. Okay, maybe it's going to take a minute. Wow, that seems super slow. It is a huge game, though, everybody. You got to think, it's massive. Massive game. All right. Well, had I known, I would have installed it. It's paused. Don't pause. Keep going. I might have clicked on it. Maybe that's why. Is it still going? Now I don't know if it's going or not going. Or is it paused now? Or was it paused before? Ah, boy. This is just one of those days you feel like I should have just stayed in bed. I got 0 achievements of the Epic version. That's because I stopped playing the Epic version before they brought achievements in. Let's see if it tells me how many hours I have. Yeah, this is 13 gigs, but something seems horribly wrong here. Paused. Go. There it goes. All right. I think I accidentally clicked it and paused it because I was like, that's taking way too long. Yeah, there we go. I was trying to click on it to go see more information about it. I'm glad I looked at it, though. Glad I looked at it now. So yeah, while we're waiting, by the way, you have a bunch of stuff in here. It will go in and show you all the patch notes. You can go in and see all the previous patch notes, what they've added, what they've adjusted. Now, this actually came out about 2 months ago, the experimental build, at least the patch notes did. And so usually it takes them about a month or so before they have it. But on this one, it's taking a bit longer. So I kind of feel like they might be getting close. We'll see to see how long it takes to get there. Now, you can also do a bunch of feedback on here. If you go to Satisfactory Q&A here, you can go in and do some feedback, suggestions, ideas in there. They read all that stuff in there. I usually use it just for the patch notes, no. Let's see what else they did. So this is the one we just looked at. What's this one? Invert look option for the mouse. Bunch of fixes, fixing conveyors, new helmets from the elevator video now available. All right, so this one, 1.1, 1.1, 1.012. Whoa, okay, a lot of bug fixes. Increase the distance for blueprint auto connection detection from 10 to 16 meters. A lot of blueprint connection stuff. Improved photo mode. I worked on controller support. And it's acting less intuitively. And I'm sure they'll work on it. Okay, and then another month ago, more bug fixes, more modding and such. Tell me this is still installing. All right, yeah, now it's going way faster. Because that should have been done by now, everybody. My connection is pretty hardcore. All right, what do we got here? And then this is the one we were looking at. A lot of bug fixes. Personal elevator now supports nudging. Conveyor wall hole now supports nudging. Oh, cool. There's a lot of cool stuff in there. All right. Well, again, started early. And straight to issues we go. Again, they got back to me now. Well, we'll just go ahead and let that install. Might be time for a quick early break. While we were letting that install, I'll get away from the computer, so I'll stop pausing it. We'll let that install. We'll screw around with some 1.1. Now, again, if you are trying to find the experimental version, everybody, it's easier on Epic because it does have the 2 different versions. But if you are trying to find it on Steam, you can just go in, right-click on your Satisfactory, and you can go in and go into the properties. There's a beta in there, and you can switch into that experimental version if you wish. I don't want to do that on my Steam version because my Steam version I'm going to use with the server, and then this one we'll use as a local game to try out some 1.1, see what's new in there, and just kind of tinker around with it a bit. I guess I was going to work on my my turbo fuel today, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Unless my server comes back up and stays stable here. All right, we'll let that run for a minute. I'll be right back. back, everybody. Just funny irony. I am trying to get on the server. I think it's actually on my end because there is a massive storm coming in right now, and I just got a tornado warning. That potential tornadoes coming through my area. So I feel like, you know what? Screw it, because it's right upon me right now. So very scary storms coming through Tennessee right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peace out, everybody. Just screw it. Some days you're just like, you know what? Because what's going to happen, everybody, is I'm going to get started. We're going to get into the game. We're going to start doing something. And then, boom, power's going to go back out. I had power loss yesterday as well. So I think we're just going to, I think we're going to say, you know what? Mulligan today. Come back to it. Hopefully, maybe 1.1 comes out next week. And do all of that. So, it's gonna have a big storm coming through. It's probably gonna knock out my power again, because we've been having power issues. So I'm just gonna peace out. So let's peace out of here. Off we go. All right, everybody. I guess this is going to be a very awkward stream. We basically got like 0 done. I started early, and I normally start right about this time. But big, massive storm coming through. So we're going to just see what happens. We're going to let that storm come through. And if it passes and everything's fine, I may start the stream back up again. But this is going to be the world's shortest Kismet stream. Well, I guess somewhere up there. And we're just going to peace out. Thanks to all the peeps bringing in the love tonight. Thanks for the raids as well. Of course, thanks to all my patrons down below, everybody. Again, some days you just don't want to get out of bed. And today would have been a good day. So I'm just going to be smart for once and just peace out of here so that I don't lose my computers or my stuff doesn't get messed up. Because that really sucked yesterday. Whoa, the whole house is shaking. Whole house is shaking right there. It's scary. All right, well, if I survive, everybody, I'll be back Wednesday night with my crew with some Throne and Liberty. Sorry, we're going to miss out on our Satisfactory, but maybe we'll just be lucky and we'll have 1.1 by next week, and then we'll just start a new playthrough then. All right. At least stable version, because it's been a couple months, everybody, so hopefully they come out with a stable version of it that we can play. And again, I've been kind of waiting until 1.1 comes out, the stable version, to play an actual full playthrough of it from the beginning. But all right, that's it for me. I'm going to go ahead and shower you guys with a bunch of kiss caps. And I am going to stay safe there, Dragon Wolf. Thanks for concerning yourself with my safety. I appreciate it. If it gets real bad, everybody, I'll be in my neighbor's basement. I don't have a basement in my house, but I'll be over there. And I'll be watching the weather. So again, I will see you all next time. I appreciate you guys understanding. You know, just like some days you're just like, you know what? This is the thing you should do, everybody. You should know when to just peace out and then come back to it later on. We'll have more fun with it next week. So thanks everybody for coming in. Appreciate ya. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Hi, this is Norbert. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button.